Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Caroline Chapin, Channel Marketing Manager at Autotask Corporation. So glad you could all be with us today. I'm very pleased to be here alongside Raj Khera, CEO from MailerMailer, to cover what we feel is a very important topic for all of you, that is, how to build your pipeline within 60 days. First, before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping items regarding Webex. If you're having any technical issues, please send me a message in the chat window to the marketing host, and I will have someone assist you right away. All of the phone lines will be muted to help minimize any background noise that there might be, but that certainly doesn't mean that we don't like questions. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please submit them to the Q&A window in Webex, and we'll certainly save a few minutes at the end to answer those questions. There'll also be a post-webinar survey. After the webinar ends, you'll actually see a very short survey pop up in a separate window. This survey includes just a few short questions, and your responses will help us drive and deliver content in future webinars. So I'm really hoping you can take a couple of moments, and we really appreciate your feedback. I also like to let everyone know in advance that this webinar will be recorded and will be made available on our homepage at autotask.com in the resources section for on-demand webinars, and we'll make it available within about 3 business days after the close of the event. And lastly, I'm really excited to share with you we have 2 sponsors for today's webinar. First, a big thank you to our sponsor and main presenter, MailerMailer. Raj Khera will be joining us from MailerMailer to share some insight on marketing and lead gen type activities. MailerMailer specializes in marketing automation services, of which one is a turnkey, done-for-you email newsletter for IT companies with tight marketing budgets and no free time. So Raj, we look forward to hearing about curated newsletters in your upcoming presentation. And second, a big thank you to our sponsor, CyberShark. If you're an MSP looking to increase your revenue, which is why we're all here today, then CyberShark might be an opportunity for you, a solution that you may want to take a look at. It's a white label security as a service solution available at a low monthly cost, and it's powered by the Black Stratus security platform. They are offering a special offer to attendees today, so you'd be eligible for a $50 Visa gift card when you do a demo of CyberShark. And to learn about that and for more information, you can go to their website, cybershark.com, or call the number on your screen. So let's get started. I'm really excited to introduce Raj Khera, CEO at MailerMailer, who will kick things off for us today. Raj? Raj, are you there?
Here we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay, all right, no worries. Okay, let me restart. I thought I was talking and then, okay, here we go. So thanks for joining me. Before we get started, I thought it might be useful to give you a little background on who I am. I have a couple of degrees in electronics engineering. I used to build semiconductor chips. I wrote a lot of software. And then after many, many years of being an engineer, I got this itch to start my own company. That was 20 years ago. So I've been there. I'm a technical person learning about marketing and how to grow a business. Now, I've had some good successes along the way, learned a lot, actually put this in a book that I've got called the IT Marketing Crash Course, been a #1 bestseller on Amazon. I've built a couple of companies, sold them, had some good successes with that too. So I'd like to share some of the strategies that I know work to help you build your pipeline. So let's go hop over to the next slide here. Here's what I'm going to show you today. Now, if you've attended any of my webinars in the past, this one has got a lot of new material and ideas to help you build your pipeline very quickly. Even if you're a really small company, or if you're a sales or business development person in charge of bringing in new business, or if you're the man or woman wearing multiple hats, today, you're going to have your marketing hat on. You're going to learn exactly what you can do to build your pipeline. You're going to want to watch this entire webinar. It's got a lot of very useful material here. So when you go into marketing, you don't just dive into it. You don't just sit down and say, okay, I've got to call 100 people today. That might get you some interest, but you'd be spending a lot of your time and your money actually very inefficiently. So to get the most value from any of your efforts, you need to do something to build trust to help people want to buy from you. So usually people don't wake up and say, okay, I'm going to just go buy something. They go through this process of education, and then they start trusting you, and that's when they become ready to make the purchase. So think about the last time you hired somebody for professional services, maybe like a lawyer. What prompted you to buy from that lawyer? So, for example, if a lawyer contacted you out of the blue and tried to sell you general legal services, saying that they could help you with all sorts of agreements and corporate issues, would you have hired them? So they're trying to come in and be your legal team, right? They kind of like when you prospect for IT services, you want to be the IT department for somebody in many cases. So when a lawyer comes to you and offers you this smorgasbord of legal services, how do you react to that type of pitch? My hunch is that they're offering probably wouldn't be something you'd go for. It might be a little bit too vague, might even be confusing in terms of what the deliverables are, let alone the cost. So even if that lawyer could really help your business, even if they could uncover areas where you were exposed and maybe provide you with the right solutions, my hunch is you probably wouldn't hire them unless you're actually in the market for hiring a law firm. So in other words, what they're selling is not what you want to buy, not what you're ready to buy. Now think about how you would have reacted if instead they changed their pitch a bit. What if they told you that most employment agreements leave your company susceptible to legal issues that could put your company at risk, such as an employee stealing your clients after they quit, or issues related to ownership of anything that they developed on the job, and that maybe some state laws automatically kick in if your employment agreement doesn't have the right provisions. And then what if that lawyer offered to do a review of your employment agreement at a nominal cost? This is a completely different type of pitch. You might actually consider it, right? They're selling and you're potentially buying something that's very specific, something that could protect your business. Now, when you're pitched something specific, it's a lot easier to get your head around it than buying the fuzzy concept of general legal services. So let's take a look at IT services now. This is something that you pitch, something that you try to get sold. So when you sell your IT services, do you sell this fuzzy concept of overall management of IT for a company? Now, if you do, think about how you reacted just a moment ago in the prior example of a law firm pitching you. Only thing is now you're the professional services pitching the prospect. And if what you're selling isn't specific and it doesn't clearly illustrate a solution to an issue that they can easily understand, what you're doing is, and maybe you're doing this inadvertently, you're making it hard for them to hire you. You might not realize it, but you're creating an easy rejection for them. A prospect's reaction to your pitch for general IT services could be something like, no, we're fine, nothing's broken, we can handle it. Or maybe, no, we already have somebody that takes care of that for us. So unseating an incumbent company can be hard. Your prospect might not be ready to, or maybe even comfortable to replace their current provider, even if they're not as good as you are. So this is an important point. What your strategy should be is to solve a specific problem. Now, if you're trying to reach new prospects, this smart strategy is to create an offer that focuses on that specific problem, and they might not even realize that they have an issue until you point out ways that your solution can improve their productivity. I'm going to show you how to do this right now using the marketing concept of small purchases, and then I'll show you how to create a pitch that you can use and then show you very specific ways to find prospects, and that's going to get your pipeline filled up pretty quickly. So this is a marketing strategy called small purchases. It's going to help you open up doors that might initially seem closed. Basically, it works like this. When you try to sell someone something that is expensive, and sometimes IT services can be expensive, or when you try to sell something that completely changes the way they're currently doing whatever they're doing, it's a harder sell. And the reason it's a harder sell is because it involves a lot of risk on the buyer's part. They don't know you. They don't know you firsthand, what it's like to work with you. People are generally risk averse. So when you introduce risk, especially in the form of these higher ticket items, or maybe a complete change in the way they manage their IT infrastructure, it can take a bit longer to sell. So here's a solution to this package. Create an offer that's small, something that doesn't completely replace their current infrastructure or their current provider that they're seemingly happy with. Now this way you're taking a lot of the risk off the table. So in a buyer's mind, that's very comforting. When you reduce their risk, they're going to move faster instead of dragging their feet. You're going to be able to close a deal quicker when you focus on that specific problem. So the big benefit here is that when they buy something, however small it is, they are now your customer. And that means that you've got your foot in the door. And then there's something else that happens after they make that initial small purchase. Now think about that lawyer example that I mentioned earlier. The pitch was all about providing a service with a limited scope and a nominal investment. So it allows you to experience what working with that lawyer would be like, and at the same side, it allows the lawyer to see what it's going to be like to work with you. Maybe you're a good long-term client for them. So this small project adds to your level of trust with them as the provider. And more importantly for them, you're now their customer. So even though it's a small amount of money, you've built a relationship. So if that lawyer were to now ask you about other parts of your business, the conversation would be a lot easier. And you might even start to consider them anytime you've got an agreement that you want to have reviewed. So the law firm, is now one of your trusted vendors. That small initial purchase made it easier, even more comfortable for you to buy additional legal services from them. So as we look at your IT services, if you can come up with something to make that initial sale, that small purchase, you then become a trusted source. After all, they purchased something from you. They wouldn't have done that if they didn't trust you. Now they know you. And with your foot in the door, you can now start to ask questions that get them thinking about other areas of their business that you can help with. And that can lead to more IT sales. So one of the things to think about is, well, what should that initial sale be? A really good starting point is Autotask Workplace. It's a file sync and share solution. And I'll show you how you can position this to create a pitch that's really something that people want. So let's talk about how you create your pitch. Let's say that you're targeting accounting companies. Now, I'm using an accounting company here as an example, but you can easily swap it out for whatever your prospect market is: lawyers, medical practices, manufacturing companies, nonprofits, any type of company that you want to go after. What we want to do is create a case study. And the best types of case studies are stories. So a case study starts with a little bit of background about the issue. So on a sheet of paper, just at the very top, write down the word problem and then describe it. Now here's a simplistic example. Problem is you need to share sensitive documents with clients. It's a problem that a lot of these professional services firms have. If you want, you can make your title a little bit longer. You want readers to be able to identify with the scenario. Remember, we're making a story here, and the best stories are ones that people can identify with. There's a saying that facts tell, stories sell. So going to a client and saying, hey, I've got a new product that you might like. Here's what it does. Or maybe something like, hey, we can help you manage your IT better and cheaper, probably won't get you the sale. You've got to prime them. And you might have to do that repeatedly, which I'll talk about in a bit. They need to see how they're doing a task now and how their lives are going to become easier, safer, and more productive. Those are the reasons someone's going to want to buy something. Now, tying this back to the concept of small purchases using file sync and share, you can describe scenarios that guide your client to visualize their life once they start using file sync and share. So draw a contrast to how they might be doing things now and how things would be better afterwards. I'm going to show you a template on how to do this next. And once they can see their work life improve, closing the sale starts to become much easier. Now here's how to start. So you can use these questions. I've got a couple of them here. Maybe when you're at the next networking event that you attend where you might meet a new prospect, or even with existing clients to increase your income from those clients. So you can casually start a conversation like this. And I used the following 6 words to start a lot of dialogues. If you ever had a phone call with me, you know I use this. It starts out with, by the way, I was curious. And then you ask your questions. So, by the way, I was curious, how do you share files with your staff and clients? And then you want to make it personal, because when you start to make it personal, that's when you start hooking them with this emotional connection. So ask them something like this. Well, what would it mean to your business if these files were hacked or stolen? This is pretty serious, right? Everybody's worried about data breaches, and it's a conversation that's going on in the news. So when you ask them questions like this, it helps drive the point home. It helps them to see a risk to their business, maybe even to their career if they're the ones that are responsible for this inside their business. So these are the types of questions that get that conversation going. The next part of the case study, which is your story, is to describe the issues, the challenges, and the obstacles that the client was facing. So, for example, when you talk about file sync and share, here are some of the issues that might come up. Things like sharing, if we're talking about accountants, sharing tax information, sharing documents very securely because it's sensitive information. Maybe accessing the information that's being shared on mobile devices as well as on someone's PC or at home or at work, so remote access. Making it viewable by some people and editable by other people. So, you know, maybe a client could be a lawyer, and that's one thing that lawyers want to do. They look, give me a comment on this document. And so just that type of thing for them to share, making it viewable by some people, editable by another. Good issue to talk about. Another thing is expiring documents after a certain period of time, or making it so other people cannot share it. So once you share a document, it cannot be forwarded on, that kind of thing. All these are really important things. And when you mention them to a prospect, it could be that they've never even thought these options were possible. So in this very brief dialogue, you paint a picture of a better life for them. It's more productive and it's more efficient. So then describe your solution. Talk about the benefits that accounting companies will get by using that solution, but file sync and share. Talk about how it makes their life easier, safer, and more productive. In other words, talk about one or more of the 3 reasons that people buy anything. It's how you save them time, save them money, and how you get rid of headaches. Time, money, and headaches. Those are the reasons people buy things, to solve problems. Now you can probably crank this out very quickly. Just a one-pager, put your logo on the top of it, your contact information on the top of it, and now you've got a really nice document that people can identify with because they can see their lives playing out in this case study, in this scenario. Print up copies, you can share at meetings, you can post this onto your website. Nobody else is going to have a document like this if you get quotes from your clients and use those as examples. Now, here's another quick tip that you can use. In this document, if you're going to post this onto your website, add some keywords that you want to be found on when people do web searches. That's going to help with your SEO, your search engine optimization as well. So to really get a boost, ask your clients to link to your website. More inbound links is one of the top criteria in getting your site ranked. By the way, Autotask has several case study scenarios that they can help you with. You can connect with Caroline right after the webinar to explore some of those. So now that you've got a story like this that can help you make your pitch, let's take a closer look at Autotask Workplace as the product that you can use to introduce the concept of the small purchase. Remember, once you get them to be a client, then you can start selling a lot more. So Caroline's going to now describe Autotask Workplace and the options that Autotask has for partners. And stay tuned because we're then going to follow that up by going over very specific marketing tactics that you can implement starting today that are going to get the phone ringing with new prospects. I think you're going to find some of these ideas very useful and very achievable. So Caroline, over to you for info on Autotask Workplace.
Thank you, Raj. Appreciate that. Great start to the presentation, and really appreciate the use cases you shared around file sync and share. I thought for those of you that may not be familiar with FSS, I would just start by defining what that is at a very high level, simplistic level, just to tie it all together. Raj mentioned that Autotask Workplace is an enterprise file sync and share solution. So what is FSS? Essentially, an enterprise file sync and share solution is a service that allows users to save files in the cloud or on-premise storage and then access them on either their desktop or any other mobile computing device. The primary benefit is certainly the ability to securely share files, such as documents, photos, videos. You can do that and share across departments, across geography with multiple users and have the ability to collaborate on documents and projects. I can tell you in my short time here at Autotask, I just joined this past December, we use Autotask Workplace internally to support our own business, and I'm always using it to collaborate with folks around the world on different projects, on presentations, on white papers, and it's such a great tool. And it also can be used as a backup solution for data loss prevention. So let's take a closer look at what is Autotask Workplace. It's a pure SaaS solution, so essentially Autotask will manage it for you and your clients, so no maintenance on your end to do that. And it definitely helps solve a specific need for clients. So, going back to what Raj said, to start with a small product or offering to help get your foot in the door, this is something that can definitely help you do that. And it focuses primarily on three main business needs. The first being security and control, so provides exceptional security and control, including permissions, remote wipe access on mobile devices, two-factor authentication, very, very granular, so just to name a few there. Also has market-leading collaboration capabilities like file viewing without the need to download a document, automatic smart syncing, file locking to facilitate multi-user editing, and again, just to name a few. And I think if you think about your everyday activities and the clients that you're supporting, you could probably relate to these pretty easily. It also has one of the best native mobile applications for both Android and iPhone with in-app file viewing, annotation, and editing capabilities. So most of all, it's fast, it's easy to use, and easy to learn. And what I love about it most is that this solution is unique in that it's specifically designed to be sold by managed service providers to your businesses. So what does this mean to you as an MSP or an IT service provider? Well, I know that many of you in the audience certainly wear multiple hats, I'm sure, in your daily activities. But I know that one of them is certainly taking on that role as a trusted advisor for your clients. And as a trusted advisor, we know that you know your clients best. You're the ones on site doing technical training, having meetings, doing monthly, even quarterly business reviews. So you know their business. And you'll know if their end users or their employees or associates are deciding which FSS solution that their business is using. And by that I mean I came from my previous role. I came from a large global organization with 30,000 employees, and I can remember the day that someone said, Caroline, I need to share this huge file with you. Sign up for a Dropbox account. It's free. Next thing you know, I knew everybody was using it without any approval from IT. So imagine the security concerns around that type of consumer-grade solution. You'll know if your client's confidential files are vulnerable to a security breach. Imagine what one breach could do to their business. And are you letting another direct cloud provider or competitor in the door? So if for some reason you get sidetracked or distracted with another project, and maybe you haven't been in touch with a handful of clients as much as you typically are, you might miss out on an opportunity to sell this solution to meet those specific client needs. As Raj said, specific client need is what you want to try to tackle. So an FSS solution like Autotask Workplace can help you build your pipeline, help you increase your incremental recurring revenue opportunity by thinking about just these 4 bullet points alone. The bottom line is, just skipped one slide. The bottom line is you need to protect their business, so protect your client's business and your business. These risks we know are all too real. We see in the news over time, there's organizational breaches by Target, Home Depot, Michael, Sears, and what this means is a loss of confidential information. It could be social security numbers, it could be credit card numbers, customer data, and more. So when we think about what a breach like that could mean to your customer's business, it's really important to consider a managed service enterprise-grade FSS solution like Autotask Workplace. And again, the good news is that this solution was designed with all of you in mind. It was purpose-built for IT service providers, for managed service providers to support your businesses. And so how do you get access to a solution like Autotask Workplace? It's offered exclusively through our Autotask Workplace Global Partner Program. And I can take you through now some of the key benefits of that program that really help set us apart in the market. So the first being that this is a 100% channel-focused program. We do not sell direct. We have invested heavily in the channel, and we believe that the go-to-market strategy is the way to do this via the channel. Every partner that signs on with us is assigned a dedicated account manager, regardless of the size of your organization. We feel that it's important that you have someone that you can go to, that you can rely on and truly partner with, because we believe heavily in joint selling and helping you uncover opportunities in your base. This is not a program that you just sign on, join, and then you're off and on your own. We really want to help you. We want to onboard you. We want to take you through training, business development training, and it all ties in with our partner playbook and partner toolkit. We believe very much that enablement is such a core of any successful partner program, and the partner playbook is a step-by-step guide to help you get onboarded, get trained on Autotask Workplace, how to deploy your licenses internally, and it links to all the great sales and marketing resources that are in our partner toolkit. Every partner that joins our program is granted some free internal use licenses. These are licenses that can be used to support your selling activities and your support activities for your clients, and they come standard with the partner program. The Autotask Workplace Manager is a big piece of our program. It's essentially a partner portal, and it's our single pane of glass to provision all your client teams, their members, their connections, their storage. It's the key to your Autotask Workplace business success. You can configure this portal, you can brand it, you can set up internal security policies for your clients, and if you happen to be an Autotask PSA customer and user, it also integrates seamlessly with Autotask PSA. We've introduced a fairly new role here called a Partner Development Manager, and this is a sales overlay position with the account managers that helps to onboard partners, gives a little extra attention to those partners that might want it. Maybe they want some help in demoing this solution to their end clients to help uncover that opportunity in their base. This particular role and person as a resource is available to all partners. Partners have a fixed cost for their licenses, so this should help you really budget your business and determine what that sales price should be for your clients. You know them best, so you should determine what that sales price is. We offer both live and on-demand recorded training and business development education type sessions where you can go to learn about Autotask and how to use our partner playbook to help you run campaigns, generate leads, and ultimately build that pipeline, which is why you're all here today. Lastly, we offer next level support, so partners are required to provide first line of defense for their customers, but if something needs to be escalated and you need some assistance with a particular project or client, we are here for you and provide next level support. So next, I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of what some of the great tools and assets that are available in our partner toolkit. We've got a security architecture guide that talks about obviously the architecture of Autotask Workplace, the different certifications and measures that we put in place to ensure it's secure for you and your client's business. We have a FSS buyer's guide. This is the perfect piece of collateral to send to your end clients to help gauge the need for an FSS solution in their business. It includes 3 checklists around mobility, security, and collaboration to help identify where their biggest pain points are. We have a vertical use case document that you can share, helpful to point out different use cases across verticals, and a quick start guide to help your end clients get up and running quickly and easily. And just want to share that all of these assets that you see are co-brandable. So we encourage you to brand them with your logo, your contact information, so you're putting your best foot forward when you're out presenting to your clients and distributing assets like this to your clients. And ultimately, the Partner Playbook is sort of a wrapper around all of these different assets that help you essentially make it easy to generate leads and increase your pipeline. And lastly, some campaign tools. I mentioned in the Partner Playbook, we give you a couple of plays that you can run to help generate leads. We give you the partner logos to do that. We give you the product logos to do that. And we even give you email templates for nurture campaigns to go out and make this easy for you. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible for you to generate leads and increase revenue. So hopefully you'll see that a lot of great work has gone into making this a successful enablement program. So I encourage you all to think about adding Autotask Workplace to your service catalog today. It can fill a gap in your portfolio. If you're not already offering an FSS solution and you feel that there's a need, this is something that can do that for you. It can certainly help generate interest in your business, and it can definitely help you stay ahead of your competition and increase your pipeline. So for more details on the partner program, I encourage you to visit our website, go to resources, and download the ebook. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time and the opportunity to talk to you about the partner program and Autotask Workplace, and I'd like to pass it back to Raj now, who will now take you through some different ways you can generate interest in your business and generate leads. Raj?
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Okay, so just to recap so far, what we've done is we've got a product identified to get your foot in the door so that new prospects can start, so that you have something to sell to new prospects, right? Selling big IT services, taking over some of the IT might be a little bit hard as an initial sale, so we're going to use the concept of small purchases to get in the door. And then we've also talked about reaching out to new prospects this way, generating more income from existing clients. And then we've also looked at identifying a strategy and a pitch. So now let's talk about specific ways to generate interest. I'm going to go over ideas that are going to encourage referrals from your existing and maybe even your past client base, and also how to reach new people too. So this idea, inserts in client invoices, is actually one of the simplest ideas that you can implement, and it has far-reaching implications. Everybody sends invoices to clients. Now, if you send them by mail, that means that you're already paying for the envelope, you're paying for the postage, and for the same postage that you've already invested in, you could insert an extra sheet of paper in that envelope. This is a wonderful way to remind your clients that you value their referrals. So you can start using this technique literally on your next billing cycle. So every month when you send your invoice out, include something else, something new. Some examples of things that you can send would be like that case study that we just talked about. You could also make a checklist to do an IT infrastructure checkup. Maybe include an article on ransomware or how to identify a phishing email. Maybe even things like why offsite backups are so critical. The benefits that they'd get with file sync and share. Now, when you put that insert in, get a little sticky note and write on that sticky note something that says, Bob, know anyone who might find this tip useful? Let me know and I'm happy to share it with them. Pretty nice, right? Very simple, something you can implement right away in your next billing cycle. Now, if you send your invoices electronically, then just change the way you send that tip. Include the tip and that call to action. So that little note on that sticky note that I mentioned, Bob, know anyone who might find this tip useful? Let me know, and I'm happy to share it with them. Include that with your electronic invoice. Again, this technique is so simple yet pretty powerful because you're enabling referrals to happen. You're not just sitting around waiting for them. So some other kinds of tips to share. Here's some ideas. How to share your documents with your clients securely. Again, remember, what we're trying to do is sell something very specific. So these are things that you can share with prospects too. So let's say you're at a networking event, you get to talking to somebody, and you just sort of introduce the concept of a file sync and share by asking them, oh, so how do you send documents securely? If you just have that dialogue with them, you can say, oh, would you find it useful for me to just send you an article about that? We can actually got some tips on how you might be able to solve that problem that you're dealing with. And that gives you a reason to follow up, gives you a reason to get their business card and so on. Preparing your office for, preparing your IT for an office move, accessing your documents anywhere, expiring documents. I find that one so useful because people don't think that that's even possible, but you can do that. How to create a mobile-friendly version of your documents. Looks like I'm missing a space there, but mobile-friendly version of your documents. So when you create things like this, tips, checklists to share with prospects, you're helping them with issues that they might be grappling with. People love these. Now, could you imagine if you got a quick tip from your lawyer or your accountant that helped you save money or improve your best practices? And maybe you won't look at every single one they send you, but you'll certainly take a look, and you'll probably appreciate it, that they're trying to watch out for your best interest. Now, that registers in your mind. It builds on the trust that you're establishing. I'll give you another example. I have someone come and take care of my lawn every week, and well, every 3 months or 2 months they come and they apply fertilizer and they put lime down and everything, so I don't have any weeds. I like having a nice lawn, and I'm willing to pay somebody to make sure that they manage that. Well, you know what they do? Every time that they come, they leave a little note about what they did that day, and then they insert a sheet about bug control or why they're doing the fall fertilizing and stuff like that. Now, I don't read every single one of them, but I tell you, I certainly appreciate that they're looking out for my best interest. And then what happens? Well, they've got a lot of competition. I mean, I get bombarded with people trying to sell me their lawn services all the time. But I usually just discard those because I trust this guy so much. He's educating me. It looks like he's watching out for my best interest. I can tell you right now, there are people trying to get your clients. And so if you're not doing something to at least put that little insulated layer around them, there could be somebody trying to steal your clients away. So make sure that you keep your clients educated with these little tips. Now here's another way to start generating referrals. Remember, what we're trying to do is enable referrals to happen. Okay, not just wait for them, because that's what most people do. They say they get business by word of mouth, but it's usually because word of mouth just sort of comes to them. So here's how you can accelerate that. Now, your clients already trust you. They trust your help desk team. Maybe that's you too. You could be a person wearing many hats. So use this help desk concept as your hidden sales force to get new leads. So the next time someone calls up for help, ask them if they would know anybody who might benefit from your top-notch IT support. Now, they might politely say, no, they don't know anybody, but they'll pass along information if they do come across somebody. So what you can do is prompt them, give them ideas. So instead of them accepting their answer of saying, oh, yes, here's, I'll think about it later and I'll let you know, say, hey, well, what about your accountant? What about your attorney? Do you think they might find some of these tips useful that we're sharing with people? So you can also do other things like probing your clients for additional needs. You want to equip your team with a roster of questions that can uncover hidden opportunities. Questions like this: what would happen if a company laptop got stolen at an airport? Would your data be safe? That's a provocative question. It's going to get people thinking. Another one you can do is how's business? How many staff members are you looking to add in the next 12 months? Those kind of things help you find out how their plans for growth are. Now, if you'd like to guide, what you can do is, I have got a guide. Actually, it's available free, and after this webinar, I'm happy to email this to you. But it's a list of over 20 questions that can help you uncover hidden opportunities. Just let me know. I'll provide my email at the end of the webinar, so just reach out, and I'm happy to email you a full list of questions, which include different questions to ask in different scenarios. Now, here is one of the most overlooked tactics that can fill your pipeline very quickly. It's to get out there and be in front of your prospects. become a speaker at association events, and here's how to do it. And it's easy to say, but here's a specific strategy on how to do it. Let's say you target lawyers. Go to Google and type in Lawyer Association and then the city that you serve. So I'm in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I would go in and type in Lawyer Association, D.C. When you look at what comes up, it's not just one law association. There are so many. There are associations of family lawyers, immigration lawyers, trial lawyers. There's also groups of lawyers. So, for example, I found the Hispanic Law Association, the Women's Law Association. There are so many different groups. So when you do that, if your market is only lawyers, there are so many opportunities just within that niche too. Now, if you target other companies, just replace the word lawyer with accountants, with nonprofits, with manufacturing companies. So it's so easy to go and find these associations, and I guarantee you there can be a lot of them just in your area. So, when you go to networking meetings, oftentimes as IT people, we might go to networking events that have other IT people there. Well, that's all fine and good. You need to do that to stay current, but that's not where you're going to find new prospects. You need to show up where your prospects hang out, and so associations are the best bet. They almost always have monthly chapter meetings with speakers, so they're constantly looking for experts. Now, this tactic is going to require a little bit of your time to prepare and give your talk, and other than your time, it's more or less free to do. You might have heard about other marketing strategies that people talk about, where you buy lists, where you print up direct mailers and so on. All that can cost a lot of money, and it takes a lot more time. Well, here's a way to fill your pipeline with leads very quickly. And in a moment, I'm going to show you a really easy way to nurture prospects who aren't ready to buy your services right away. So what you do is when you find that law association that you could reach out to, look into their website to find the point of contact. Maybe the chapter coordinator's name, it could be the chapter president, it could be an events coordinator. Just kind of look, everyone's going to have something just a little bit different. And that you can even hire an intern to just go out and do all this work for you, or a virtual assistant. This is really easy for somebody to find. And then send them this email. This is a very carefully constructed email. Happy to email you a copy, or if you want, just jot it down right now. I'll leave this slide up for a moment. Here's what you say. Put the person's name in there because you want to personalize it. Don't want to just have a generic one going out. My name is, put your name. My name is Raj Khera, and I have a talk that your members might find very useful. Next paragraph. One of the challenges that lawyers have is sharing client documents securely, expiring older versions, limiting access, all of which could result in a data breach. That is a key word. Everybody is thinking about data breaches now, right? We hear about it every day. I call it breach du jour because there's so many things going on. So if you go look at this way it's phrased, we're introducing a concept that's very short and to the point, all of which could result in a data breach. My talk goes over the risks they might not be aware of and ways to mitigate those risks. Would you be open to a talk on this topic at a future chapter meeting? So you can swap out the word lawyer, any lawyer specific text for any other niche market that you have, but you can use this as a template to send out to different associations. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. If you would like a copy of this, you can just watch the replay of the webinar, or you just shoot me a note. I'll email you a copy of this as well. So send that note to 10 different associations this week. We're just starting the summer now, so organizations may be lining up their speakers for their late summer or early fall events. And if you don't hear back, follow up and ask if there's a different point of contact that you should reach out to. Follow up next week, call them if you'd like also. Just by doing this in front of 10 associations, you're going to start to build your pipeline, again, very quickly. When you speak at events, people who attend are usually qualified prospects. So you can use this concept of small purchases to get your foot in the door. You ever go to an event and afterwards there's a mob of people around the speaker? Well, now you are that speaker. You've got that opportunity to really go out and connect with people and exchange business cards and so on. So later on, as you establish rapport with the speaker coordinator of that association, you can start speaking on other topics. So as you penetrate these prospects, you can then build on your relationship. They might be using other companies for their entire IT. Well, as you start to sell this initial product, that initial sale, you can start to unseat those incumbents and sell them more services. Here's a tip. When you give your talk, print out one copy of a document that you could use as a leave behind. And Caroline pointed out some examples of content that they've got to share. Prestacular, we also have content that you can share. Or like, you can use that case study sheet that I mentioned. So here's what you do. Don't print out a ton of copies and then just leave them behind. Print out one copy. Here's why. When you finish your talk, you put your hand up in the air with a copy of that printout and say, hey, I've got a document here that helps explain some of this in greater detail. I know I covered a lot of stuff in the talk. If you'd like me to send you a copy, just give me your business card and I'm happy to email it to you. This is a lot better than leaving it with them on the spot, because if you just give it to them and they walk away with it, well, that could be the end of the relationship. You don't have any contact information. They might not follow up. So if you offer to email it, it does a couple of things. It gives you the opportunity to follow up, and it also gives you the opportunity to nurture them, keep them on your newsletter list, so that way you can nurture them, because they might not be ready to buy right now. Now, another thing that you can do with guides and white papers and so on is use them as leave-behinds at prospect meetings instead of your brochure. Now, when you pitch a client, they're probably talking to other IT vendors as well. So when one of your competitors visits that prospect, they're going to leave behind their brochure and their business card, and they're probably going to follow with a proposal just like you. So when everybody just does that, it leaves the prospect confused about which vendor is the most qualified. They're going to flip to the back of your proposal, they're going to look at the cost, and then that can lead them to select a provider based on price, not on value. Is that what you want your brand to be? A commodity? Of course not. Now, you can't charge a whole lot of money for commodities. So be different. Show them value. Show them a reason to buy based on value. So to build on your sales dialogue that touts your company as that reliable expert, give them a guide on a specific IT topic. Very few of your competitors are going to do this, and it's going to set you apart from the pack. So examples of things you could send to them, a guide on understanding the true cost of your IT options, or what you should know about cloud backup, an executive's guide to IT terminology, or understanding file sync and share options for your business. Now, even if the prospect doesn't read the document that you give to them, the fact that you provided it positions your company as a knowledgeable expert resource. So, by the way, if you'd like some guides, reach out to me. You can set up a demo of our tool. We're happy to share some of those with you. And so, let me show you some other tactics you can use too here. This guide can do a lot more for you. You can probably relate to this scenario. I'm sure this has happened to you before. You send out a proposal, then you wait. Nothing happens. You call. Nothing happens. No response. So that lead that you thought was eager to buy your services suddenly goes cold on you, and you can't get a response back by email or phone. We have all been there. This happens all the time. So what do? We usually call and say, hey, I'm just checking in, leave a voicemail. Or maybe we send an email, hey, just checking to see if you got my proposal. Well, I'll tell you something. They got your proposal. They're just not getting back to you. Might not be interested in, as much anymore, or something else came up. So here's how you spark their interest. Instead of just sending that note that says, hey, just checking in, and then doing that multiple times because they're going to start to tune you out, do this. Send a note that says, hey, I thought you might find this useful, and then include something to share with them, something useful, something that's going to help them with their business. If you can time your message with something that's going on in the news, like right now, July 29th, Windows 10 free upgrade will no longer be free, right? So this is a good timely thing to do right now. So share information with them that's going to help you get noticed. Now let's talk about things you can do on your website to actually get more business too. Now, I'm not going to tell you to get a new site design. Your design is probably just fine. Even if you think you need a new website, my guess is your website design is just fine. Most of the MSPs that I talk to who want to change their website, they only want to do it because they've been looking at the same design for years. If you're not getting a whole lot of traffic to your site anyway, then anybody new that goes to your website is going to see it for the very first time. So it's going to be new to them. Just make sure that you adequately describe your services, maybe package your offers, bundles or whatever you want to package, put your offerings out there. So there's a lot of little tips that I'm going to give you about your site right now. Getting a visitor to your site isn't going to grow your business unless you capture their contact information. Most companies have a button on their site that says, "Contact us." How many people fill that out? Maybe 1, 2 a month, maybe. Sometimes you might get more if you're doing really well with search engine optimization, but honestly, most MSPs get 0. So do something different. Give people a reason to contact you. So on your homepage, and not behind the Contact Us button, don't make them click. Right on your homepage, do this. Post a form with the headline, goes something like this: download our guide on file sync and share, or download our IT checkup checklist, or download our guide on how to spot a phishing attack. Now, you've probably seen these before, right? You see websites that say, hey, download our guide on this, that, and the other thing, and then they've got a form. So be that company that produces that. So by the way, you can use our software to produce that form. It's fully integrated. Include an image of the cover page of your guide. Visuals tend to increase response rates when it comes to online forms. So here's an example of a guide that we actually provide with our marketing automation service. It's called the IT Checkup Checklist, and it includes an integrated form, automatically sends the guide, and it notifies you that you've got a new lead. So this is a screenshot from just an example of what it could look like. So people who fill this form out are usually semi-qualified leads already. So you just follow up with them to see if they are actually fully qualified. Here is a quick tip on your contact form. Don't clutter up your form. Use a maximum of 3 to 5 fields on your form. I have seen contact forms that ask for so much information. The reason you probably don't get a lot of people filling that out is because you're asking for too much information. So if by just asking email address and name, you can find out from their email address what their domain is, which means you can go to their website and probably pull down their company name, their contact address, maybe even their phone number. So there's a lot you can gather just by capturing a little bit of information. Now on your contact form, most people just say submit. Well, I suggest don't say submit, because that's not really a strong call to action. If you offer a guide or something for download, put a little note that says download now, or get IT help, or get my free consultation if that's something you offer, or send me tips. Make a call to action be the button to get people to reach out to you. Now, I'm going to switch slides here, and I want you to think about where your eye went to right now. Don't read anything. Where did your eye go? My bet is your eye went right to that red button that says send me tips. And the reason your eye went there is not because the button is red. So don't go out changing your website to make all your buttons red. The reason it went there is because of a contrast. So if you look at the button below, black button on gray background, it might blend with the site, but that's the point. It blends with it a little bit too much. It gets ignored with your eye's instant reaction. So without thinking, the reason your eye went to that red button was because it was a sharp contrast. So for example, a green button on a blue background, if your colors happen to be blue, or red on gray, something like that makes it stand out. All right, so a couple more tips here. Make your call to action very easy to find. Don't make it really huge. Put it right on your home page, and don't require anybody to really hunt for it. Now, another thing that you really should be looking at is nurturing prospects, because not everybody that you talk to is going to be ready to buy immediately. When a prospect isn't ready to buy, don't lose touch. Most IT companies quit trying. After you meet a prospect, they're not ready to buy, maybe they had a meeting, they say check back in a couple of months, and then you find out that they actually went with somebody else a month or two later. And it's because they had a need at that time and you weren't top of mind. So to stay connected, calling them, that's not so easy either. It's probably not something you would enjoy, probably annoy people if you did it every single month. So use something that enables you to touch them and educates them without being a pest, and that is email newsletters. The Direct Marketing Association reports that email return on investment is $38 for every dollar spent. That is huge. It is the highest ROI of all direct response methods. That includes print and so on. So the content that you send is really important. Here is the ideal newsletter structure to send out. It starts with a personalized opening that ties in with the subject line of your message, also with current news, and includes a call to action that has your contact information in it. That encourages people to refer business to you. And then, of course, you put in material that's useful to them, that's relevant to them, and then you should sign off with information that's required by the law. Many countries have different laws now, so you need to adhere to that. So the main point here for the do's that doing your newsletter is to get started. As IT people, we often get caught up in overanalyzing, thinking maybe our website's not 100% ready, maybe our contact list isn't big enough. So what ends up happening is that we fall into the trap of analysis paralysis. So instead, just get started. Even if your list is 10 people, check it off your to-do list. You can tweak it later. You know, your website's going to change later. Your email list is going to grow later. If you don't start now, you're basically just watching other companies get more business while you stay planted where you are. You don't want to be the same place 2017, 2018. Some more things you should do is be consistent with your emails. Send everything once a month and take a look at your reports. All that's very important. Now, if you do even just some of the things that I talked about, you're going to generate leads. One of the biggest challenges that small companies have is doing the marketing, especially doing the nurturing for clients that aren't ready to buy yet. So I hear from many people all the time saying that they're strapped for time, they have a tight budget. So we created a service that solves this problem. It's called Curated Newsletters. It's very affordable, completely turnkey. It's done for you. Here's how it works. Every month, like clockwork, we create a very carefully crafted email newsletter, and we send it to your contacts using timely content that we curate from the web. Computer tips, security alerts, productivity improvements, examples of using Autotask Workplace, more stuff. So each newsletter has that personalized opening, timely news, and a call to action to encourage your contacts to reach out, maybe even give you a referral. And then we include reports to show you who's reading, clicking, who's ready for a conversation. We even give you a downloadable guide and a contact form to post on your website to attract new leads. So Curated Newsletters automates your marketing. It's going to help you grow your business. Here's what some of the clients of Curated Newsletters are saying. And we've already gotten 2 calls this week about our antivirus services. Very easy setup. I now have marketing, something I've never had beyond word of mouth before this newsletter. We love the newsletter. 2 clients already called this week. It's an effective way to stay on top of current and potential customers. So if you've thought about marketing but just don't have the time to do it, here's how you can check that item off your list and sleep better knowing that your marketing is being done for you. The Curated Newsletters is normally $99 a month, but today for the webinar we are running a 24-hour special. It's 20% off and there's no setup fee. So it's a flat $79 a month, no long-term contracts. You can sign up now, cancel anytime. So when you visit curatednewsletters.com, click sign up, and then you'll see that it says $99. So enter this code, AWP6, under the partner name, and you're going to get the discount. So this code expires 24 hours. Again, $99 to do all this marketing is a really good price, but if you want the 20% discount, just go to curatednewsletters.com right now, click sign up and enter AWP6 for the partner name. We're going to take care of the rest. We'll also provide you with a free checklist that's that can be integrated into your website to convert web visitors into qualified leads. So this is a solution that's going to help you sell Autotask Workplace. It'll help you sell other IT services. So if you want more business but don't have a lot of free time, this service can be a great fit for you. If you'd like some additional information, we've got another product line too that's got a lot more content that you can use for your blog. It's called Prestacular. Happy to reach out. So here is my contact information as well as Caroline's. I know we're just about the top of the hour, so Caroline, do we have any questions that we want to address at this point?
We do. Nice job, Raj. Thank you so much for taking us through those tips on how to generate leads and interest in their business. Before we move on to questions and answers, I just want to share just a quick update on our Autotask Community Live event. This is our customer event that we host each year. It's scheduled to be September 25th through the 27th in Miami, and we look forward to welcoming over 1,000 customers and industry leaders to learn more about our products, but also to network with their peers and network with these industry leaders. So if you haven't already checked it out, I encourage you to take a look on our website, register on the registration page, www.autotask.com/ACL. So with that, let's move into some Q&A. For those of you that are able to just stick around for a couple more minutes, I ask you to hang in there. We do have a couple of questions that I think would be beneficial to all of you. So first, Raj, for you, for curated newsletters, do I get to see a preview of the email before it goes out?
Yes, in fact, we send a preview of the newsletter that we draft about a week before it actually gets scheduled to go out, so you can take a look at what's going to go out and what your contacts you're going to get.
Perfect. And I'm seeing someone here who's asking how they can possibly see a demonstration of the Autotask Workplace Manager portal that I spoke about earlier. You can do this by either, if you already have an account manager at Autotask, you can reach out to your account manager and they will schedule a one-on-one demo. If you're not already working with Autotask, we actually offer and host a group demonstration weekly. It's a live demonstration, and you can go to our website, again, under Resources Live Events, and you can register for a live demonstration there. I've had a couple of people ask me if this presentation will be available after this event closes. And while we don't actually share the slides, there will be a link to the recording that will be emailed out to all of you that have registered and attended. So, and if not, if you don't want to wait for that, it will be available on our website in the resources section as well, in our on-demand section. Let's see. Raj, one more for you. I'm thinking of redesigning my website. Do I need to wait until that's done before I use your curated newsletter service?
No, actually, there's no need to wait, really. It just delays getting your marketing going. And so the nice thing about our tool is that it works independently of the state your website's in. So if you've got something now, at least get started doing some marketing, and then when you're ready, you can update that, update your site, and your marketing will still continue to run. So it really just helps take a lot of that off your plate, and that's the big benefit of it.
Okay, and I had just a question come in just now. What are the service differences between Prestacular and Marketing Service today?
Okay, so our curated newsletter service is our newest one. It's an entry-level service that allows you to have everything more or less put on autopilot for you, and we curate content from around the web. The Prestacular service is a little bit more expensive, not that much more, but it's a little bit more expensive, and it has content that we write, which you can then edit and use on your blogs and so on. I'm happy to go over the differences with you. Caroline, maybe we should just put that little contact page back up so that if people want to reach out to us, we can just, yeah, there's my email, raj@mailermailer.com. Also, you can check out information at curatednewsletters.com. It's got a lot of material there on the site, including some examples and a sign-up button, too. So, yeah, just feel free to reach out to us, and I'm happy to share. By the way, my extension is 800, so if you want to call, just call me and push extension 800.
Perfect. And anyone with questions on Autotask Workplace or the Partner Program, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Happy to speak with existing partners if you're on the call learning how to build your pipeline, or those that just might be interested in learning more about the program. Happy to help. So with that, Raj, you have any closing comments?
I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your time with me today. I hope you got some information, some insights on how you can build your pipeline. If you do just some of the stuff that I talked about, you'll definitely going to build it. You will have a roster full of leads to follow up with, and then use something like curated newsletters. It's actually one of the most affordable solutions on there, specifically for IT companies, to help you generate more business. We're having a lot of success with clients who are using that to generate phone calls, generate leads. So like I said, mention my phone number there. Just reach out to me or email, and we're happy to get you started. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Raj. Thanks so much for taking the time to present for us today, and I hope everyone found this useful. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much. Take care.